The Saturn in Aquarius transit is just around the corner, and it's time to get acquainted with this planetary duo. Today, we're going to explore some of the mysteries of this cosmic alignment by talking about what you can expect during these next 6 months. Make sure you stay until the end, because you may be surprised. Number 1, Saturn is the planet of restriction and limitation. Saturn is the planet of restriction and limitation. Saturn is the 6th planet from the Sun in our solar system, and it has a rather slow orbit. Saturn's symbol comes from an old word meaning restriction or limitation. Saturn rules over time that gradually diminishes your energy and enthusiasm for life as you age. Saturn also governs responsibility, how well you handle obligations to others, including parents, partners, friends, and colleagues. How much effort you put into your job, whether you are able to produce what is required of you on time. If Saturn transits too quickly through your sign, there can be added pressure. This transit will not last long, so use it wisely. Number 2, Aquarius is a sign for humanitarianism, altruism, and social reform. Aquarius is the sign for humanitarianism, altruism, and social reform. Aquarius is an air sign ruled by Saturn, the planet of restriction. Saturn in Aquarius can help you focus your humanitarian impulses and put them into practical action. You may be inspired to start a new project or organization that benefits the community, but Saturn in Aquarius can also bring a strong sense of detachment and even coldness to your humanitarian efforts. You may find it difficult to get emotionally attached to any one project or person, and this could lead to a certain amount of cynicism or even contempt for those who are not as idealistic as you are. Saturn in Aquarius is not an easy transit, but Saturn is the planet of hard lessons learned. Saturn will teach you how to temper your idealism with realism and practicality. Number 3, Saturn in Aquarius can be a recipe for success if you know how to harness its strengths. Saturn can be a recipe for success if used correctly. For instance, Saturn in Aquarius is a Saturn that likes to work hard. With Saturn in Aquarius, you can be sure that they will do what it takes to get the job done. In fact, Saturn is considered a better planet because Saturn is your discipline and responsibility. Saturn is responsible for making yourself better, and with Saturn's help focusing on self-improvement, Saturn can be a recipe for success. Number 4, it has an air of superiority about it, or at least that's what other people may think. The Saturn in Aquarius individual may often seem to be cold and unfeeling, but Saturn rules the astral body, and Saturn in this sign will give a sharp analytical mind. Saturn here can also indicate an interest in science and technology. Many world leaders possess Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn is ruler of their ascendant or first house. They may appear to be unfriendly or distant on their first encounter with Saturn in Aquarius people, but they are generally nice, if socially awkward. Saturn is also associated with aging. Saturn will return to its own position exactly 20 years after it was there last. If Saturn returns during one's teens, it can cause angst, confusion, and isolation, as well as keen insights into how Saturn operates within society. Saturn is the planet of maturity, and Saturn in Aquarius can help you grow up fast. Saturn's lessons are all about harnessing your energy, realizing your potential, and living with integrity. Saturn will force you to face reality and take responsibility for your own life. Saturn wants you to be a mature adult, capable of handling whatever Saturn throws at you. Number 5, the combination of these two planets can make you feel like you're not good enough, but also like you're better than everyone else at the same time. Yikes. Saturn transits can bring feelings of inadequacy and isolation, but Saturn in Aquarius brings a strength that is born from within instead of without. Saturn in Aquarius people are driven by their own standards rather than by what other people consider success to be. Saturn in this sign makes you far less likely to follow the crowd, and Saturn in Aquarius is independent and original. Saturn also rules authority figures, so Saturn in Aquarius has a strong sense of discipline, even when it's applied to yourself. You will take responsibility for your actions much more readily than many other signs. Saturn in Aquarius can be very difficult if Saturn slows down too quickly through your sign, because you will feel glutted with responsibilities that you don't want or know how to handle. Number 6, Saturn has the tendency to point out every flaw and imperfection in your life. Saturn is the planet of karma, and Saturn in Aquarius brings an awareness of the consequences of your actions. Saturn in Aquarius makes you very aware of the implications of your words and deeds. You may find it difficult to sugarcoat the truth, and you may be critical of yourself and others. Saturn in Aquarius also makes you very honest, even to the point of bluntness. You'll have no problem pointing out other people's flaws, and they may not appreciate it. Saturn in Aquarius can be rather eccentric and antisocial, but Saturn tends to point out all the things that you could do better. Saturn in Aquarius find it harder than other Saturn signs to accept failure, and they will not let themselves down because Saturn demands perfection. Saturn also rules over group activities, so Saturn in Aquarius is often a loner who prefers to work alone or with a very close few people. Number 7. Saturn in Aquarius can be self-radicalizing, but you'll also need to be involved with a lot of different groups and associations for this transit to be successful. That's where Saturn comes in. Saturn has a tendency to pull inward, and Saturn in Aquarius is no exception. Saturn demands that you work with your inner self, and Saturn in Aquarius subjects every bit of information coming into your life to the Saturn filter. You may become resistant to new ideas or experiences during Saturn in Aquarius, but Saturn will allow you to be an even more selective individual than usual. Saturn encourages stability and traditional values, so Saturn often brings friendships with older people during Saturn transits through Aquarius. Saturn also makes its natives desire order and authority figures, although Saturn in Aquarians can rebel against authority as well. Saturn in Aquarius needs to be involved in many different groups and associations in order to find its place in the world. Number 8. Saturn is more into planning and foresight, while his counterpart Uranus, Aquarius, is about spontaneity and thinking outside the box. This difference in perspective can often lead to conflicts and misunderstandings within relationships, but it's also what makes Saturn in Aquarius so unique. Saturn brings a sense of responsibility and practicality, while Uranus brings a sense of excitement and newness. Saturn is more conservative and resistant to change, while Uranus is more liberal and open-minded. Saturn tries to tame Uranus's flights of fancy with a dose of reality, and this back and forth between these two planets can create tension, but also lots of sparks. Uranus is a sign of Aquarius may be very eccentric, and Saturn would like Uranus to meet his standards. Saturn may not understand the truly unique ideas of Uranus. However, Saturn in Aquarius can become a mentor figure to those with Uranus in this sign. Saturn helps Uranus grow by getting him to see the bigger picture of Saturn's version of reality. Saturn can help Uranus stay grounded, and Saturn in Aquarius will encourage Uranus to follow Saturn's plan, even if Uranus doesn't think it will work. Saturn encourages leadership qualities, while Uranus is more interested in being a trailblazer. Saturn is very interested in exploring Saturn's world, while Uranus lives in Saturn's shadow. Saturn wants to conform to Saturnian standards of behavior, while Uranus gets Saturn out of his comfort zone by encouraging experimentation with the unknown. Number 9. Saturn in Aquarius can bring on depression or seclusion if you get stuck trying to fix everything. One of the difficulties with Saturn in Aquarius is that it's easy to get overwhelmed. There are so many new ideas and possibilities that come into your life during Saturn in Aquarius, and it can be difficult to know where to start. You may feel like you need to fix everything at once, but this isn't an impossible task. Saturn in Aquarius makes you realize that you can't change the world, but you can change yourself. You need to take things one step at a time and focus on what you can control. On the other hand, Saturn in Aquarius also gives you the ability to get things done. You'll have a lot of energy and motivation to work on your goals, but you need to be careful not to overexert yourself. So there you have it, 9 Saturn and Aquarius facts to help you understand this transit a little bit better. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments section. Saturn transits through Aquarius every 20 years, so if you're feeling the effects of this transit, don't worry, you're not alone. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss more videos on astrology and much more. Check out this video, Zodiac Signs Ranked by Love, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.